All right, Gabe Salgado here for Q101 Sports. I want to update you on a little bit of a breaking news that we have here involving the Chicago Bears. As you probably have heard by now, the Bears have traded a couple of draft picks, although they haven't really disclosed what those picks are, but word is it's third round picks, two third round picks to the Miami Dolphins in exchange for wide receiver Brandon Marshall. And as you know, Brandon Marshall used to be teammates with Jay Cutler in Denver. And with 3 out of the 4 years that he was in Denver, he was a 1,000-yard receiver there. Went to a couple Pro Bowls. He was also a 1,000-yard receiver every year that he was in Miami. Been to a Pro Bowl with them as well. One concern that I have about Brandon Marshall, though, is you remember his last couple of years in Denver, he had a bad attitude about things. Let's not forget the infamous video where he was kicking balls in practice and he was supposed to be catching balls. Instead, he was grabbing them and throwing them away or knocking them down completely. Just an overall bad attitude. While that does concern me, he has proven that he could do it on the field. He has proven that he could be a number one, possibly even a number two receiver. So this is a huge deal for the Bears. Again, Bears have been looking to get that number one wide receiver for Jay Cutler the last couple of years. Of course, new general manager Phil Emery has finally shown that he is willing to make the big move. So hopefully this will work out for the Bears, and mini camps will be starting soon, not to mention the NFL draft coming up. Of course, there is still a possibility that the Bears could sign another wide receiver. Hines Ward is one of the names out there. But other than that, seems they're pretty much set with the wide receiver position. There's also the possibility they could draft another wide receiver when the draft comes next month. And also another rumor floating around out there is that the Bears might sign former Raiders and Redskins quarterback Jason Campbell to a $3 million contract to be Jay Cutler's backup. As you know, last year he was with Oakland. The season ended prematurely. He had a broken collarbone that took him out for the remainder of the season. And then afterwards, the Raiders brought in Carson Palmer, and then pretty much his career was done in Oakland after that. But Jason Campbell's one of those guys. He's been a solid player his whole career. He's just been on some pretty bad teams. Started off his career with the Redskins. Went to the playoffs one year that he was there, but other than that, the Redskins weren't very good. Pretty much the same issue in Oakland, just some very bad seasons in Oakland. But Jason Campbell, very solid quarterback, very mobile quarterback, accurate quarterback, athletic quarterback. That would be a good backup for Jay Cutler. Should God forbid he gets hurt again, or a situation arises where he needs to come in. As you know, Caleb Haney, who has been the backup for Cutler the last couple of years, was let go by the Bears after this past season. Caleb Haney finally had a chance to prove himself, and it just didn't materialize. Of course, Josh McCown and Nathan Enderle are still on the roster, so of course those guys will probably battle for the third string spot. Also, the Bears have managed to re-sign Tim Jennings, although the terms of that contract have not been disclosed yet. Of course, as soon as I get that information, I will have that for you. And other than that, the Bears pretty much making some strides in the free agent market, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with their first and second round draft picks this year. Also, the fact that they're still interested in defensive end Mario Williams, played with the Houston Texans last year. He's meeting with the Buffalo Bills today, but of course, there's always the possibility that he could end up in a Bears uniform. But I will keep you posted on that as well. Other than that, it seems like the Bears, it's pretty much a toss-up as to what they're going to do with their first and second round draft picks. They still need help in the defensive backfield. There's also a chance that maybe they could shore up the offensive line because of injuries that they had last season. But pretty much they've addressed the wide receiver situation, and adding Mario Williams will help. And if they do bring in Jason Campbell, that'll solidify the backup quarterback spot, so they can pretty much go anywhere with their draft picks from there. But of course, I will keep that keep that updated for you guys, and I'll keep an eye on everything for you. And on anything that I get, I'll post to Q101.com. You can also follow our YouTube channel at Q101 Sports, and also follow me on Twitter at GabeSalgado82 #Q101 Sports.